Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
Low.
And folks, it is Thursday, which means it's time for another match of Steel Division 2 from the Season 3 League. Today on Krupa, we see an old division that we kind of know really quite well. Rank, who do we see?
On left-hand side in blue, we have ourselves Shaun playing as 21st Panzer, and on the right-hand side in red, we have Shaun playing as the 184th Rifle Division.
Well, I mean, if we're looking over at Shaun with the balance thing versus... Ooh, is that V for victory? What the heck is that doing there? For sehandur. I mean, we've seen sehandur before with his kind of air sets opening.
Oh, I think that's a Juggernaut. Juggernaut.
Wow, yeah, I'm sorry. It's one of those things you so rarely see Juggernaut in that kind of 1v1. It's so weird. I think that's what's kind of throwing me for a moment here. But no, I mean, sehandur over here with the whole idea of air sets opening, pretty used to that. Against Strelky DPs, though, I suspect the North is going to be lost rather quickly.
Yeah. This is not looking too good for him so far. Just that's a lot of Strelky DPs, and I mean, there are Flammerer for troops there, which are pretty good, but that's a lot of Strelky DPs, and also Shaun's been very heavy on the air power. I mean, goddamn. Looking at the centre here, that tank just need to keep push, that is perfect with the smoke.
Well, and that's kind of what we kind of expected here. Shaun is definitely at the top of the game with this, but a Pack 38, which is in pretty good position. The question is, how many kills can he manage? And the answer doesn't seem to be very many. He might get one shot off.
Just needs to keep getting out, and that's a pretty damn good position to be in. If he can hold that, like, town area, you can really put a lot of havoc up north and down south on the other side of the river. I mean, it's a good river crossing to hold on to.
Well, it's not too surprising overall. I mean, if you want to go, you desperately want to always hold the central position on any kind of map. I know everyone loves being edgelords, but
quite literally. But yeah, like it's always risky to push center, but by God, it can really be worth it if you make it work.
Yes.
It's just a tactical flexibility in where you want to push is fantastic. And there's usually a lot of flags in the center.
Meanwhile, we have this boy to Sherman, who might come up behind a couple of these half-tracks. Ooh, these half-tracks are rather gutsy. Ooh, we'll miss them.
But the Sherman won't.
No, not from that range. Yep. And just like that, a little bit of that early advantage has been kind of squandered by being just a bit too aggressive here with that light vehicles.
Yeah, really what Shaun needs to bring up some tanks, some anti-tank guns to help secure the position. Fortunately, sehandur only really bringing in burst trooping, so I think a Molotov will definitely dissuade him from moving up any closer.
I'm actually kind of fascinated to see how aggressive these Shermans are being utilized. I say aggressive. I mean, he's on his own side of the 50-yard line, obviously, but just interesting nonetheless.
Yeah. And having those Shermans as 21st is definitely a very nice thing to have early on, because, you know, they're pretty good fire support tanks. They've got stabilizers, decent armor, lots of machine guns, and it's a nice thing to have as the Germans. You know, get to use the enemy equipment. 21st Panzer likes doing that a lot.
So here's the question. Oh, it seems like the blister over here from Shaun in the center might get popped pretty quickly. Would it have been better to just hold that initial kind of ground and to just throw more troops in it and then force a breakout? Or is it better to do what he did?
It probably would have been better to just get like a little bit of extra defenses out sooner and just hold that initial town area. I mean, now he's got an anti-tank gun being brought in, which is what he needs, as 184th is a decent anti-tank gun lineup, but not a lot of tanks.
Yes.
Which can be a bit of a pain.
Well, and that was sort of what I was thinking, but because at the same time I'm looking at the approach, let's say, avenues into that town, and the 45 mil, while it can definitely find its own version of effectiveness here, it's not able to actually protect the town, should that be an issue.
Yeah, and even against Germans, he's going to have a pretty hard time knocking them out. So it's really going to come down to the infantry just trying to hold. And tank to sneaky, he's going to do pretty good. But once those vehicles start coming in, they're gonna have a bit of a hard time. And currently where that Sherman is, it's pretty much blocking off the bridge reinforcement point.
Exactly. Exactly.
Down south, though, things are looking a little bit better for Shaun here as he's pushing with the classic strokey DP push. The sniper could get a little bit closer to help out. And this could be another bridgehead yet, you know, Shaun could be able to capture and be a pretty easy one to hold. It's just town and forest galore. Perfect for anti-tank gunplay.
Well, we do have a 233 coming in, which I kind of like. 233 is going to be a bit more of a standoff position away from the actual bridge and just be able to look down that span, which is just a delicious line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I also like we're also seeing some Gepards coming on out too. I like the addition of the Gepards to kind of strengthen that anti-air. There's been a lot of usage from that already.
Yeah, so Sehandur only really has to worry about bringing in, you know, a light and, you know, a bit of medium armor. He really doesn't need King Tigers. Well, he might need them a little bit later on against like those ISU 122s. But against the majority of 184th stack, it's really just infantry spam. So he needs all the infantry support vehicles that he can get.
It certainly does seem that way, doesn't it? You know, to the north, you see a couple of the points of Shermans are going to get aggressed on and taken out pretty quickly by a 45 mil from extremely close to distance.
Mm-hmm. And if those Strokies can, you know, get onto the flank, they have a pretty good chance of disabling some of that Sherman's optics or tracks, etc. with those anti-tank rifles.
Mm-hmm. Pilot injured. Apparently he has quite the healing factor, though, because he'll be uninjured in about 8 seconds.
Mm-hmm. He just has to wait for his HP to regenerate, you know?
Oh, that's true. That was true. I was thinking more of like a Logan Wolverine kind of moment there, but you're absolutely right.
I was just thinking Call of Duty.
Oh, no, I picked up what you were laying down, but you know, at that point, if we shoot the red barrels, then the Soviets get angry, so it's this whole thing, so... down to the south, actually, we have this IL-2 coming in for some desperate, let's say, supportive fire. He does have those troops across, you're right. He actually is getting that bridgehead, but I don't know if that's going to be a lasting impression.
I don't think so. Yeah, Sehandur's doing a pretty good job of pushing these blisters wherever Shaun is pushing. And, well, eventually he needs to try and actually make a push across the other side of the river, so to speak. And I think down south would definitely be his best shot of doing that with a counter push, as he has a lot of troops here and a decent amount of armoured support.
A rather poorly placed rocket run over there. I'm not entirely sure what he was aiming at. It was a different zip code. But drips and drabs of materials coming into the north again, so we have more SS troop in, which I think is pretty much how Sehandur builds his 21st Panzer consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Which, of course, has such a problem for me from an aesthetic standpoint, let alone the whole actual, you know, relative tactical uselessness of them. Yes, sir.
You don't get a lot of infantry slots, to be fair, with 21st.
Yeah.
So having those numbers helps, but I mean, in the end day, it's still only SS troop, and you do need to have tanks backing them up constantly if you want them to actually be able to push anything.
And that's the thing, it's like, I don't want to have to go and focus hardcore about making sure that I have to protect my tanks because my infantry can't do anything on its own. So, I don't know. I mean, it's just my own particular idiosyncrasy. So, take it with a grain of salt.
But yeah, I gotta admit, Shaun's been doing a really good job just really utilising his air power. 184th has some pretty good airplanes in its arsenal, a lot of IR-2s as we're seeing, and he's using them to great effect just to strafe the everlasting Jesus out of really anything.
That's good, because for the moment otherwise, his troops are getting pounded.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still not seeing any Gepards down to the south, which is, again, rather shocking for me. I kind of expected some sort of something.
Yeah. This is where it's getting hit hardest at the moment. Now, the one in the middle is getting some shots off now. So he's been a little bit useful.
Watch me scrape to death.
Yeah.
Yep, that's embarrassing.
I'm an anti-aircraft gun. I'm meant to be the one killing you.
Wait, that's not in the script.
Yeah. It says anti-air. Don't you see it? Anti.
Oh, I mean, so it's like Uncle Tank, like Uncle Joe. So that's what they actually meant to say. That they're
Oh,
related
yeah.
to each other. It's the whole
Yeah.
thing.
You need to bring an Uncle air gun.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
At that point, the woodshed upgrade, and it gets a whole whooping happens. So, and we're seeing actually another Gepard coming in to replace the unfortunately killed. At the same time, we're seeing a huge Jeep convoy of Ognamachiki moving in, along with this ISU 122. So watch to have a new kind of revivified push. Although coming across right now, we have going right into other Flammenwerfer troops.
Yeah. I think he realizes he needs to fight fire with fire here.
Well, you know what they said, though, too, where there's smoke, there will be fire as well. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I do find it very ballsy as ISU position. I don't blame him for putting him in there because you need to get it close to actually do any fire support. But it does open him up to, you know, a Panzer Strike shot.
Well, no, it opened him up to that if Sehandur did anything but build, you know, ersatz openings. Of course, when I say that's when we have a Panzerfaust squad to the south, we have Panzer Schreck to the north, but the Panzer Schreck squad's going to get picked up in about 3 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, Shaun has definitely enough infantry backup to keep ISU not flanked.
And, well, this is the moment that I say, where is my mortar team? Okay, so there's a off-map coming in now with 105.
Yeah. This is a pretty damn good push here from Shaun. He's actually managed to, you know, exploit a bridgehead, but actually have a, you know, the firepower here to keep it secure. ISU is going to be a real tough nut to crack.
It certainly does seem that way.
Yeah, he needs really like a Pack 40. He needs to get an anti-tank gun really, or Panzer 4. I mean, he can't blow it up with a Sherman or Panzer 4 at closer range.
I mean,
he's got a bit risky.
He's got the anti-tank gun, but the anti-tank gun is just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, he could get line of sight if he moved just a little bit south, I believe, but he's pretty happy where he is.
Yeah, I suppose I can understand that quite easily. We are into Phase B, so, I mean, increase in points on both sides. Question is, what's Sehandur going to do with it? Right now, he's just continuing to play for time. Pack 38, like you said, here comes the anti-tank gun. A couple of P-Grens, just to kind of bolster the lines a second. So, not the worst thing in the world, but not ideal.
He needs to just try and keep Shaun contained in his northern breakout. He's only losing by a 1-point advantage right now, so it's not terrible. He can still contain this, as you do have those pretty much the 2 roads that lead out of where the ISU is. They're pretty defensible positions, all things considered, and once that off-map artillery finally gets to the front line, it's a little bit slow. I should definitely buy him a bit of time.
You know, these are the guys I remember from, oh my gosh, I can't think which division it was over in SD44.
16th Luftlander?
Yes, thank you. Where we had these stumbling kind of geriatric vehicle columns coming towards the front.
Yeah, and they had the ones with the machine guns in the thing, which is definitely an odd combination.
Certainly is.
Yeah, ISU actually getting a little bit pounded here by a Pack 38, which is getting into position. Its armor is holding up.
Guns jammed though, so now
jammed.
There goes the usefulness.
Yeah. If he can just track it, that's pretty much a useless tank.
At that point, it's not even really a tank, it's just like a pillbox with no guns. But not content just to be active in the north. I've actually Cherno's trying to go over here to get ready for a push across the central position, which again might be okay. Yes, that's actually, we have an MG42 moving to the north, not to the central position.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, a Cherno push could work. I mean, he's only going to be fine as trooping, so they're pretty much match to match in that regard. He does have armored support now and artillery support, actually very close range artillery support, to try and help secure this push.
Yes, we're going to see no repair trucks be moved in, which is interesting.
Yeah, ISU can need to be fixed now, because it's really one of the key units holding that entire flank together. And now Sehandur's getting that off-map artillery in, pushing Shaun back towards the initial bridgehead. And yeah, he just has to keep him hold up here for a bit. Once she phase here, I bet you 21st Panzer are going to be seeing a King Tiger every minute.
Would not surprise, especially with 220 coming on in, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy a King Tiger and get infantry to back him up.
Which was a curious thing to think that a King Tiger actually could get infantry support.
Yeah.
And that long-lasting recon plane does in fact go down. But the Cherno push is already being rather radically successful, taking out one squad of air assault troops opposing them, even as the artillery barrage comes down in the north, and causes a bit of hassle. Nothing too extensive, but it gives an opportunity for these peak runs to start making an aggressive move on in.
Yeah, there is also seen the Panther Force being brought in to try and secure the central position. Really, of course, needs a little bit more infantry, probably some pioneers help clear out those Chernos, some mortars as well. But now we're seeing a decent AA net here from Sehandur for those Gepards, which is keeping the IL-2 at bay.
What a shame they actually can't kill it, but that's a different discussion for a different time.
Yeah. And finally, Shaun's artillery support column of all sorts of guns, self-propelled and not so self-propelled, finally making it across that bridge, and if he can get ISU into position, those Panzer IVs are pretty much buggered.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, heck, even that artillery gun, the big 122, can also blow up Panzer IVs, which is quite a nice benefit of having heat shells.
Ooh, we can see that actually happening already as one of the P4s goes down. And that's not a cheap one either. Those are the command variants that we're concerned with right now.
Yeah. Definitely don't have a lot of them in terms of availability.
Unless they're second lieutenants, at which point there's all too many of them.
I've seen some mortar half tracks being brought in from Sehandur, which is definitely a very good call. That can easily rout out those Chernos with their disheartened spirit. I've seen a counter push here up north as well from Sehandur, a bunch of Panther Grenadiers. And Shaun doesn't really have much here. ISU's running all the way into the corner. Still hasn't been repaired yet. Finally a Matador's being brought in to try and do so, but ISU isn't in the most convenient position. I think Matador's going to try to do it across the river.
Well, as I say, that's the impressive part, though. I mean, those repair guys, man, they could just yeet stuff across 100 meters.
Catch-ish! They just throw a brand new gun.
It's like, those are the guys you want to have on your softball team.
And yeah, I think, he is going to be able to repair the ISU here, so that's actually a pretty good spot. And now if he can get it back online and into the fray, those Panther Grenadiers will be Panzer gone. But oh look, we got the I do like how Sherman is up north to try to, shoot anything that goes cross river, but right now that Smokies can't really see all that much.
No, he can't. And the ISU being redeployed, like you said, but Cherno's being brought on in. I don't know if Shaun just put a weak infantry for his Phase B material, or if that's just, dumb luck here, but...
Yeah, probably. I mean, Cherno's compared to Ursat's trooping are actually a bit better, because they actually have a machine gun, and I believe... Yeah, only have machine gun. I thought I'd say anti-tank grenades, but it'd be too nice. Yeah, a little bit expensive. I guess it's kind of an argument whether this be 20 or 15 points. 20 is probably fine, but still not extremely cost-efficient for 20 points compared to other infantry options, but the balanced choice is what I'm trying to say.
Well, what I was about to say is that actually, if you look in the central position, the ISU 122 has been taken out, though I couldn't tell you exactly by what, and right now we're back to these, an 85 mils engaging with a P4. We'll probably kill the P4, but, there we go.
Yep. Very close-range anti-tank / anti-air support. But as you see, with a little bit of artillery, Shaun is, holding on to your central position. Maybe not for too long, as Sehandur is pushing pretty hard with his own infantry.
And we are 14 seconds away of something really, really devastating coming up, so...
Yeah, about hitting the C phase, and this is where the income disparity starts to get pretty bad, but Shaun soon, he's done so far pretty well in the first 20 minutes. He's managed to, knock down Sehandur to half of his victory points, so referee can just, hold what he's got, which is what 184th is pretty good at. They're pretty good holding division.
I mean, yeah, that's why you had the shared notes in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Just put them behind every building, every forest, and artillery, anything that you dare see. Or airplanes in this case, which I guess is flying artillery.
Certainly true. It requires a little bit more technical skill to have those shells land than the other ones.
Yeah. An AC-130 would be literal air artillery.
That would be.
Think about it.
That would be.
That's literally aerial artillery.
But that's a different game or a different movie, or however you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
With ice, you went down to the north, by the way.
Huh. I think
it's the pack.
Something killed it.
I think it was the pack. It has the less APCR shells than previously. So.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious to see how many kills, ground kills, the IL-2s have had.
Yeah, they've been doing a pretty good job of just keeping everything suppressed. I don't think I've gotten a lot of kills personally, but I think suppressing and just keeping the Germans' infantry heads down has definitely paid for itself.
Seems entirely possible about that. But now, as we are into Phase C, Shaun's not brought in a huge amount of material. I don't know if maybe he's running low on deck or not. I can't see that he would be already. Yeah,
you get a lot of infantry of 184th. You shouldn't run out, even with, especially with a general division. You probably build heavy sea phase just like with Juggernaut.
But still, 11 minutes continue to be on Sehandur's clock over here. And the question kind of is whether or not he can kind of piece together a legitimate, powerful punch. We're also seeing some Valentines coming into the north, so hopefully this will be a rather successful deployment and not a Valentine's Day massacre.
Yeah, once again, good defensive units here. Valentines can't move forward down, but if you stick him in a place, especially with 3-star veterancy right now, the leader bonus, they are goddamn machine guns with their cannons.
True, and the 57 mil is a surprisingly potent gun.
Yeah. And he's got, Sehandur's just, he's got the factories working overtime here. He's bringing out a bunch of 233s for fire support. But two of them in the middle just get yeeted by the 85 mil downrange. I think in the central position really could use a King Tiger.
It probably could. The first Valentine goes down to the north, and this is when those peak rents really start to show their value.
Yeah. Especially against Chernos.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the hand is on the other foot, so.
And if these 233s can, start knocking out this infantry and clear the ray, maybe Sehandur can make some aggressive plays on the other side of the river, because now's his time to really try and push. And as you see up north, just the amount of material is ridiculous.
Well, we'll see. The occasional guy will be dropped here, but then the second the first kill happens, and we'll see just some devastating action going the other direction too. So. And the Valentine,
the half tracks. The half tracks are too fast for the Valentine. Couldn't keep a target. But the grenade from. You saw that grenade, right, Khan?
Yeah, I mean, it arced from the forest and hit the middle of the bridge somehow, but, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Dude, Ivan has a hand. Like, he used to be playing baseball. Or football, or some other sport where you throw balls around.
Well, we have, I would say we had a rather effective moment here as this half-track is falling back across the river into enemy territory.
I guess if you're going through hell, you just keep going forward.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Winston Churchill was not German, so I'm very confused.
Maybe I just took his advice. It's a guy. This guy. He says some cool things.
We should listen to this Americana. Oh, sorry, to this Britisher. Wow, that was dumb.
Oh, the off map.
Yes, and that was devastating.
Yeah. I pretty much saved Shaun for now, and he's gonna be able to secure that bridgehead because of that. But this is getting pretty interesting now. Sehandur, you know, he's starting to push hard, trying to retake the territory, but Shaun is still just holding on.
Oh, Grumbling Bear in the
is
center.
Set in defensive. Yeah, I have a feeling like Grumbling Bear's gonna go to Grumbling Demise due to the ISU and 85mm gun. Once again, really just King Tiger here, blow up everything downrange, and then he should be able to secure the bridgehead.
Ooh, is this a Cherno reinforcement to the south? No, this is a late game. This is a phase C Strelkovy push. This actually will rupture the south. It's not going to be easy. He's going to lose probably 60% of them pretty easily.
Yeah,
and a
fortunately,
280 off map. Ugh.
There's no enemy tanks down south. It's just infantry positions. He does have 2 infantry support guns nearby to help out, so maybe Strelkovy's will be able to get to the other side.
Well, so
mostly intact.
Won't get to the other side. The Grumbling Bear is now adorning someone's, let's say, foyer hall. He has been skinned by the 122.
Yeah, and as we can see from just that position on the hill, it's been a pretty bloody year for the Germans, losing quite a bit of tanks and other vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, between those three, even the M3 Lee is being successful there. That's how
he's still alive.
Devastating that is.
And it's been pretty useful, just giving out an extra command bonus.
But forgive me, as I watch the Strelkovies kind of begin their deployment off to the south here. And I didn't realize we have a brace of artillery positions to the south as well.
Yep, those infantry support guns going to be helping out, but Sehandur is bringing in some Panzer Grenadiers and half-tracks. I think extra half-track support will definitely help out in keeping those Strelkovies at bay.
Yeah, I think for the moment, just because these are not the PTRD type troops, so...
Yeah, you only have the anti-tank grenades, and Shaun's pretty happy to just stay in the middle of the road, so... But he's also pretty happy to drop down off-map, and fairly quick off-map at that.
Ooh, okay, I didn't even realize he used just the very, very brief TOT. This is going to blow holes through defense. Here we go, and... Yep. And that's all we needed to see. And while we are going to get P4 down here pretty quickly, I don't know that that's going to be enough for the German defenses here.
No, he really needs a bit more in terms of infantry fire support. The Panzer Force definitely help out because the Strelkovies can't really do too much against them at long range. But once those Strelkovies get into the town, at that point you really need mortars and pioneers to clear them out. At the same time, Shaun's taking a long time to get into the town, and I think he's been hit a little bit by his own artillery.
But you know, that kind of loss ratio is fine, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
What's not fine is getting shelled by this 88 mil. And that's how the entire push dies.
88 really coming in clutch here. Because if you can keep those Strelkovies out in the open, the Panzer Grenadiers will eat them up.
And if Shaun can get the artillery barrage down in time, the Strelkovies win. Oh, and the drop just short. Right in the middle.
Yeah, the Strelkovies falling back, so that was a pretty damn clutch defense there from Sehandur.
I think he kind of got lucky that his enemy here got screwed on the artillery spread, though, too.
Yeah. If Shaun had, you know, some mortars just to smoke to advance, I think it definitely would have been a little bit better for him. He just needed to get into the town. But he was so close yet, so far.
Well, in an effort to push things otherwise, we actually end up having to see 9 more Strelky squads come into the north. And I think, while it will not be a particularly safe place to be in the north, I can't help but feel that the Soviets are going to win this engagement, as he's just pounding waves over and over, slam into Sehandur's kind of like dazed troops.
Yeah, and this is where really 184th comes into their fall. It's just a goddamn amount of infantry they have. It's just Strelkies for days and days and days and days. And in a map like this, where it's just going to come down to a bloody grind, you're more than fine just bringing all the Strelky squads in the Soviet Union.
And you can see how dire the situation is. We see Afkleur that's being brought on in over here from Sehandur. So that's no good, obviously.
Just some 222s. I'm still surprised we haven't seen the King Tiger.
I wonder
maybe Sehandur doesn't even have it.
Well, I wonder if this might be because Sehandur kind of looks at the matchup and says, I don't need to have a super heavy tank, what I need is tons of infantry instead.
Mm-hmm. But he really needs some heavy anti-tank, even a bloody Pack 43 to try and kill these ISUs. Because he's really he hasn't been able to take his central position back because of an ISU.
True. One thing that kind of surprised me is I always kind of forget that this northern bridge has 2 flags so closely placed to each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's a win condition right there. If you own the northern crossing, you own the map.
Yeah. And so it's pretty much like 2 free flags there if you manage to capture. But right now, as you see, it's pretty 50-50 as both sides just engage bullets from across the river.
With that kind of in mind...
Yeah, that's the off map.
Yep.
And 280 mil, it's going to be pretty devastating.
Yep, those guys are not long for this world. I almost feel bad for them.
They're definitely going to be able to see your own death with the binoculars.
Ooh, and wait a second. Is this another Strelky push in the center, too?
Yeah.
No, other Machikis. And Strelkies in the back.
And Strelkies. Got to mix it up a bit.
Jeez. Yep, this is the knockout blow. This is the punch that Ali never threw. This is going to be rough. And watch the artillery barrage to the north. I'm definitely taking a look to see how that kind of final thrust comes in. Yep, the 280 has destroyed that defense.
God damn.
5 kills so far. 4 or 5 kills thus far.
And the central push is going to be coming in. And yeah, he's pretty much has a clear shot of getting right into the town. And the town is only really defended by Panzer Grenadiers. Not even with anti-tank grenades, or Panzerfaust, I mean. So they can't even kill the Aftermachikis before they get in close.
Exactly. His only saving grace is that Shaun had to go around this little dip in the road here. Outside of that, he's been completely...
a little bit of a detour.
Yes. But I imagine we'll see a 15th flag within moments here. Whether that's above, below, somewhere in the middle.
There's constant air power being brought in.
And constant off-maps for that matter, too.
Yeah. Probably has to see face cards for the availability purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes all the Aftermachikis, so they're coming down the road. Right down the road.
Worst kids song ever.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad one. I also don't like the Fido run, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit repetitive. I think most kids songs are repetitive on purpose. I drill stuff into kids.
I said the same. Wait a second. That's not true. I said the same things about Nicki Minaj.
And that too.
Oh, I refer you to the wisdom of "you're a stupid, you're a stupid." And I mean, I can't actually use the language because at that point I'll get demonetized. But like, how is that a song? But regardless, we are into the final seconds here as Shaun picks up that 15th flag with his center thrust here, and that will be all she wrote. So well done to Shaun. Battle at the Sehandur on this one. I maintain you gotta go and get something a little bit more durable in the beginning.
Yeah.
Than those freaking autos. Earsets, rather.
Yeah, it was... Shaun did a really good job of just pretty much biting and defending what he held, which is what 184th is very good at.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sehandur tried to play more of a lighter armor 21st with like Panzer IVs, more 233s and whatnot, which you can make work. But on a map like that, where it's just a goddamn grind, where you're only fighting over 3 choke points, you need the heavy armor and heavy anti-tank.
Look over at the 85mm that was in the center of the field. Sarkisian. You'll know him when you see him.
Oh, wow. It's hard to miss.
And I know some of these are like half tracks. I know some of these things like an Alf Clara squad.
That's pretty good.
Yes, exactly. The ISU 122 from the that's also in the center as well.
Yeah. Even the M3 Lee did decent for an M3 Lee.
And there's the off map from the north at the end.
Yeah.
The M42
killed tanks. It's killed 3 tanks with the off map.
There's another one below as well that killed. Well, 1 tank, but then several other vehicles as well.
Yeah.
Several SPWs.
And losses.
Is it M4?
German, alright. Nothing really in 21st.
But I mean, that's what's going to happen if you don't go and let's say hold your line efficiently. You're going to get spammed out by 184th. I mean, that's the lesson of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is also it's hard for 21st in terms of the infantry play.
I know.
You just need the more artillery and the heavy armor.
That's true.
But yeah, 184th is it seems like a pretty bad division. It is kind of bad, but on certain maps it can be really good.
Exactly. I mean, and this is one of those maps that it just worked out really quite well. And unless we forget the air power that was utilized was utilized to a T. So
yeah, all those IR2s.
Exactly. But folks, that's going to do it for us for today. So of course you guys know there's still one more match for the week. So we'll see you guys in a couple of days. Until next time, I'm Conor Work.
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.